Alright everyone, after you familiar with the first conditionals, so this is the second video lesson that we are going to study for the second sessions. So for the second session, we are going to look at some important reading techniques that you must learn in order to improve your reading skill. Mostly when you are doing the reading exercise in higher level or you plan to take the IELTS test, it is commonly it is common to see all these type of question. For the first one, you are going to see the yes, no, or not given questions, or you may ask to match the heading with the paragraph. Without any proper techniques or informations, you cannot do all of these exercise properly, or you may not get a high score in the reading test. So in this video, you are going to learn how to deal with difficulty when you are asked to do this type of question in the reading exercise. So the main focus of this video is to help you to answer these two type of questions. The first one is heading matching exercise. You will learn the techniques on how to do that. And another type of exercise question that mostly appear in the reading text is yes, no, or not given type of questions. So let's start with the heading matching exercise. So in the IELTS reading test or general reading exercise, there will be one sections in those reading exercise that will ask you to match the information or the title or the heading for each paragraph in the reading passage. It is beyond the beginner level or elementary level because you don't read to find specific information to answer some comprehension question, but you read for specific information and try to match the heading for those paragraphs. So the matching heading question normally asks you to match a list of headings to a paragraph. So the text given can consist of 6 to 9 paragraphs, which is a relatively long reading passage. So here is the example that I found on the internet, which is the type of question related to the heading matching. So here they have 5 paragraphs, and what you need to do is to so here they have 5 paragraphs right here, and then you go to read all of those 5 paragraphs. Here are the title. Okay? As you can see, there are 6 titles for 5 paragraphs, which means you don't need to use one paragraph. So generally they give you more headings than the paragraph. So the techniques that can help you doing this, or at least you can guess which paragraph that fit with each heading properly, you need to be able to guess smartly. So there are 5 steps to do when doing the heading matching exercise like this. So for the first one, when you do those type of exercise, quickly read the headings, underline or highlight any keyword. So it is a good idea to read the question first. So read the headings to understand the information. When you get the information from the heading, go to skim read, which means you don't read everything, but just try to get the main idea, the text or the passage you are reading. Just try to understand the overall meanings. And the third one, which is read the first paragraph and see if any heading match up. So don't spend a lot of time reading the whole paragraph. Just read the first sentence of the paragraph. Why you should do that? Because the first sentence of the paragraph is the main idea of those paragraphs. So the main idea generally close to the headings. So read the first paragraph. In case you read the first paragraph and you cannot find the answer or the heading that match with the paragraph, try to read the last sentence in that paragraph, because the last sentence is the concluding sentence. So in this conclusion, there may be some hints or clue for you to know what is this paragraph mainly about, so you can get the idea of which heading that is fit with those particular paragraph. For the step number 4, choose the best heading for the paragraph. So here, when you get the information from the first sentence and the last sentence of the paragraph, you're guessing. If you cannot find the accurate or 100% sure answer, at least you try to guess, and your guessing should be 60 to 70% correct, right? Because you have the idea or the information instead of just guessing. But at least you skim the text, you read the paragraph to get the idea, and your guess will be much more reliable. For the last step, make sure you repeat the first, second, third, and the fourth strategy in every paragraph, because you know what? In the reading passage, there will be 6 to 9 paragraphs. So read this again and again, and make sure you double check. You can change it along the way, right? So for the useful strategy to do the heading matchings, there are more than just skimming and scanning. You can use your predictions strategy to answer those type of heading matching exercise. You can match the heading with the paragraph properly by predicting the type of paragraph, right? So if you look at this picture, okay, there are 4 questions to follow, but the main idea is, can you predict what are the differences? If you are written the paragraph about this picture, there will be something related to education, about learning, right? So there are 2 different types of learning, which is in-class learning and group learning. So when you're reading, there will be a paragraph or the title which is related to the in-class learning. So mostly in-class learning will be the first paragraph because you have the first picture, and group learning will be the second paragraph. So your heading will match properly when you notice this pattern. So here, the techniques that you should learn in the readings, not just on the IELTS test, general readings, is to learn to notice pattern in the reading passage. So those patterns, we have the problem and solution. So in some paragraph, they started with the problem, and then another paragraph, they follow with the solutions. Or another paragraph or type of reading, the first paragraph, they talk about the cause and then the effects, general and specific within the passage, right? So these are the patterns that you may need to pay attention to. When you guess the heading, it's much more easier. And remember or take note the features and the organization of the paragraph. So the organization is the paragraph start with a problem and followed by the solution? Is the paragraph start with the effects and followed by the cause? Is the paragraph start with the specific problem and followed by the general problem? So learn to notice these organizations. For this, it will help you predict the order of the headings, making it easier for you to navigate reading passage. You will be faster at answering the question. So if you look at these headings, there will be a type of specific headings. Here, which were related to the general issue, which were related to the cause, which were related to the future situation, and which were related to categorizing information. So when you know how the paragraph is organized, is it organized from the general issue and then present with the cause, you can identify the type of heading and match it properly with the organization of the reading passage. So here, some of the heading is like this: type of job where literacy needed. So this one is the organizing information, because when you read this, there may be classified some type of job. So this one is letter D. Number 2, prediction about development. So it's related to future. When in the paragraph they write about the future predictions of developments or of something, so this word is related to that. And number 3, the reason behind literacy. So here when we talk about the reason, which is the cause, right? So it is letter B. Last but not least, literacy, a problem. So it is a general issue. So when you notice the type of keyword in the heading, when you read the passage, it's very easy to choose the correct heading. And for this strategy, I'm not guaranteed that you will 100% choose all the correct heading. It is a smart way to do so, and your guessing can be very accurate as well. Again, there is no right or wrong way to do this. The more you practice, the more you will be good at it. So reading exercise takes time to practice. The more you read, the more you are able to do it. Okay, so after you learn some strategies on how to do the heading matching exercise, let's move on to the yes, no, or not given questions. So these type of questions, generally they give you a set of statement and a text. And they ask you to decide which of the following statements applies to the information in each statement. For example, we have the word yes, which represented by letter Y, which is it is agree with the view of the writer. Or no, which means it is disagree. And it is impossible to know, which is not given. You cannot find this specific information in the reading passage. Again, reading exercise goes beyond scanning for vocabulary, scanning for information to answer a comprehension question. There are a lot of different types of questions that teacher can use in the reading exercise. So for the learner, you should be able to do all of those type of questions or exercise in the reading exercise. So here is the sample exercise that the yes, no, or not given statements is given, right? So there are six sentences, and among these 6 sentences, you need to decide whether each sentence is the agree with the writer views or disagree, or you cannot find this information. So to do all of these type of question, there are 7 strategies that will be beneficial for you. So first of all, you read the instruction carefully. So it is important not only to this type of question, but every exam, every test, you need to first read the instruction. Second, read the statement and try to understand the meaning of each of those statements. Do this before the reading text, right? Generally, read the question before you go to read the passage. Number 3, think about possible synonyms that might appear in the text and note any qualifying word in the statement. Remember, in this type of exercise, you cannot find the exact sentence in the reading passage. Generally, the writer use synonym or they paraphrase the informations. So you cannot find this exact sentence in the reading passage. That is why you need to understand this statement and read the passage for a better understanding to get the main idea. Number 4, underline keyword. So why you need to underline the keyword? Because it is easier for you to locate those information later. Number 5, reread statements once and scan the first paragraph. So the first paragraph is the main idea. So generally you can get a lot of information by just reading the first paragraph. Number 6, make your decision. Remember to consider 3 things, right? So when you read the passage and then decide whether the statement is agree with the passage, not agree, or not given, there are important things to remember. So 3 things. The first one, all those sentences consist of yes, no, and not given, right? Remember that. You cannot just say all of these statements agrees with the passage. No. So all those 3 important points, yes, no, and not given, should be included in your answers. And the last one, repeat this process for the remaining questions. So when you can be able to decide the first one, so this one is yes or no or not given, and then you need to repeat the second one, which is try to find the important information, read to understand. So this type of exercise will take a lot of time for you to do, because you need to read to understand, not read to find specific information. Because again, all these statements will not be directly appear in the reading passage. The writer may use synonym or paraphrase the informations. So everyone, that's it for these 2 types of reading exercise questions. So if you have any questions or not sure about the lesson, you can ask your teacher for any clarifications. And remember, you should keep learning new things, because the world is moving very fast. So to keep up with this world, keep learning new things every day. So everyone, that's it for our video lesson today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.